Hello, folks. So let's speak about the month of April today. As usual, if you prefer to read about it, then I have also posted on my website. Yeah. So let's get into this. Now, what is happening in April? So in April, again, we have two difficult conjunctions that are carrying forward from March. One is the Sun and Rahu in Pisces, and the other is Mars and Saturn in Aquarius. We also have an ongoing complex Mercury transit, and I speak about this in the eclipse videos, so have a look there as well. You can listen to the video where I get into the dynamics, right? Because Mercury is very much entwined with the eclipses and is the most important transit, I would say, to notice in the eclipses. Mercury is freshly in Aries now. We start the month of April. And immediately on April the 1st, Mercury goes retrograde. Once the eclipse date passes on April the 8th, Mercury goes back into Pisces, early on April 9th. Mercury is moving back into Pisces and returns there on April the 9th, forms a conjunction again with Rahu. For the first week, Mercury is in Aries, retrograde. And here it can help you let go of negative emotions, including anger. And it would be pent up anger from the past, something from the past, yeah? It can also help you to go back and deal with what you faced around that March lunar eclipse. Something that was left unsaid or left undone. Also an opportunity to polish your communications is there now. Mercury in debility, yet retrograde, from April 9th, can see the plans that you thought fell apart resurface now out of nowhere. And actually, some people can experience a lucky break too in this way. Depends on what dasha you're going through. Yeah. Opportunities can come out of nowhere now. Mercury debilitated, Mercury in Pisces, of course, can impact the subconscious. Right? So I would say see that you're making conclusions on facts rather than imagined fears of what hasn't even transpired yet. Okay, that's that Mercury debilitated. It will, however, bring out-of-the-box thinking because of Rahu's presence there. Expenses can certainly go up with Mercury in Pisces. There's a belief that when Mercury is in Pisces but retrograde, and also in its own nakshatra, that debilitatedness of it gets cancelled. I would not say that, though. I don't think it gets cancelled. Rather, I would say that Mercury behaves in a very creative and inventive way. So that's when it's in Pisces, but it's retrograde. Now, whether the issue here, Mercury can come up with ways to solve problems that are very clever, very unorthodox. Whether the issue coming up is related to communications, or to money matters, or to relationship matters. The eclipse cycle continues to occur in the 6-12 axis, which is Virgo and Pisces. So themes of health, healing, debts, loans, illnesses, disputes, spiritual pilgrimages, foreign moves, letting go of old chapters, prophetic dreams. So pay attention to your dreams. You can experience all of that at this time. It depends, of course, on where the axis falls in your chart. So, have a look there. Ketu in Virgo will just dissolve some of the 6th house significations for everybody without much effort. So, for example, if you are the type of person that likes to fight, you may lose interest in fighting at this time. Unless, of course, the exception being if you're a Libra, because then Rahu is moving through your sixth house. If you were afraid to move to foreign land, to explore areas that you haven't explored before. It could also be a spiritual pilgrimage that you are thinking about doing. Now would be the opportunity. Now would be the chance for you to do it. If you were afraid of trusting yourself and taking some chances because you've been disappointed with this matter again and again in the past, you may learn to do that now. Yeah. Letting go, of course, is a big theme when Pisces is so energized, right? So highlighted, as we have this month. We, however, also have a lovely Venus transit in Pisces, which continues till April the 24th, when Venus moves into Aries. Now, this Venus transit will try to balance out some of that difficult energy because that complex transits of Mars, Sun, and Mercury. Yeah. Mercury actually goes direct the same day that Venus exits Pisces. So this Venus really has the power to bolster that Mercury transit when Mercury is moving retrograde in Pisces. Yeah. So it's no longer a debilitated Mercury transit because there's so much going on with this Mercury. Mars-Saturn conjunction continues till April the 23rd. And that's when Mars will join Rahu in Pisces and Mercury and Venus. Mars Saturn together can create some frustrating energy. Obviously, it can lead to some obstacles in your plans, but it does give very steely determination and focus, especially given that Saturn is so strong at this time. You can also, however, feel some inner conflict with this conjunction. So see in which house it's occurring to understand where you're being impacted. Rahu's sun can make you feel as though you can do anything. Right? Like when Rahu comes close to the sun, that's the power of it. So it can make you feel overconfident. It's better to step back and pay attention to details, right? Because everything, so much fogginess can occur with the Pisces being so energized. April 6th, Saturn moves into Purva Bhadrapada. This transit will be a little bit wobbly, back and forth for about 13 months. And I've talked about this in a separate video, so I'll post that. What's interesting to note is that due to this shift during this upcoming eclipse in April, Saturn and Mars will be in different nakshatras, right? Because Saturn would have left Shatavisha. So hence they would be in different padas, which implies that the conjunction is separating now and their impact is fading as soon as we hit that eclipse in April the 8th. So wherever you felt stuck, wherever you felt like there was some obstacles, that will start to clear right after that eclipse happens on the 8th of April. Yeah. That is the first big event of the month, the solar eclipse in Pisces in Revathi on April the 8th. And of course, the Saturn-Mars conjunction will, of course, as I said, it'll lose its grip now, right? Now we have Venus with Rahu in conjunction, getting closer to each other. The two dispositors of the eclipse, both Jupiter and Mercury, are in Aries. And Mercury is in Gandhant, suggesting some surprises with our communications, maybe like launching new plans. Something can come up. But dumb luck can also play a role right now, in the sense that things will happen quite unexpectedly, and it can be like the shift will be sort of like veering you in a positive direction. Right? With Jupiter so well placed. Within a day of this eclipse, things will change quite suddenly, and you'll have to move fast. This is suggested by Mercury's movement back into Pisces on April 9th to deal with some unfinished business. So I've made a separate video on the eclipse. You can have a look there. I talk more about it. April 13th, what happens? Sun moves into Aries, which is an excellent transit for the Sun. And by now, Mars has overtaken Saturn as well. So that conjunction is no longer problematic. Mars, of course, at this time reaches its own Navamsha of Aries, making it quite strong. April 13th onward. Fantastic time. Sun's transit through Aries is with its friend Jupiter. And now we can feel the optimism return. Right? There can be a feeling now like that you can achieve anything. Whatever blocks you had are like a thing of the past. Yeah. We cannot, however, ignore that the sun gets Saturn's gaze, right? It's getting Saturn's aspect. But with a strong position boosted by Jupiter, if there were any delays or obstacles, they will work in our favor at this time. What we would have experienced for that 2-3 weeks, for some people even 1 month, right? Like from mid-March till like around April 13th. I would say not even 13th. You'd have to like maybe till the 9th, things would be, there could be some difficulties, but after the 9th, things really start to move in your favor. Sun will transit Aries from April 13th till May the 14th. On April the 23rd, we have a full moon in Libra in Swathi. And this moon cycle gets the aspect of Jupiter and Mars. Yeah. Mars has just moved into Pisces, where it's coming closer to conjunction with Rahu. And Venus is just about to move into Aries to join Sun and Jupiter. At the time of the full moon, Venus is in Gandant in Pisces. And Rahu, which is, of course, the controlling planet of Swathi, is in an exact conjunction with a retrograde, debilitated Mercury. So at this time, there's a lot of relationship stuff happening. It could be some issues coming up from the past. You could be returning to an old connection. There could be a culmination in your relationship, right? Something sudden, something unexpected. Some news you may hear that changes how you connect with someone. And it would take the relationship in a completely new direction, right? It could be a positive surprise, though. Certainly a hopeful one. Mars has just moved into Pisces at this time and stays in Pisces from April 23rd till June the 1st. This transit will peak next month in May. We'll talk about it further then. Mars brings that added impulsiveness to this full moon with its 8th aspect, propelling you into action when it comes to your relationship, when it comes to your connections. But again, it's from Pisces. So you may be idealizing some situation or some people, right? Wanting to see what you need to see rather than what's there. On April the 24th, Venus enters Aries to stay until May the 19th. Now you can be direct and forthright with what you want from your relationships. However, bear in mind, Venus goes into combustion from April 28th till the end of June, so for around 2 months. If there were any relationship issues that are coming up and that you weren't sure about, I would say put them on hold when that Venus is combust. Yeah. Venus is considered combust when it's around 10 degrees away from the sun. This can cause like loss of like Venetian pleasures, food, money, relationships. Yeah. Because the sun's individual impulse gets stronger at this time when Venus is combust, we're less inclined to value relationships and therefore less inclined to compromise. The tendency is to think that our own needs come first and foremost. Yeah. We again experience that exact conjunction of Rahu and Mercury in Pisces from April the 25th till April the 28th. With Rahu and Mercury in Pisces, it's best to make sure that you're reading the fine print. Communications, especially written ones, should be double checked by advisors where possible. Yeah. Steer clear of making big commitments. This depends, of course, on where Pisces is falling in your chart. If you must, get a second opinion through an expert. Yeah. The interesting thing about Mercury in Pisces when it's retrograde from April 1st till April the 24th is that even an oversight in communications and agreements can somehow work in your favor, because that Jupiter is so well placed in Aries. It may be that something or someone disappears from the picture, so you may have full control over the situation that has been bothering you. For example, right? That's one way that it can play out. It could be like some competition in any area of your life. The breakthroughs that appear now from the external world will make it easy for you to take a firm decision if you cannot decide how to navigate. So pay attention to omens at this time. Yeah. Whenever we have Pisces so active, I would say always pay attention to dreams and omens. See also what Mercury rules in your chart to get a hint of like perhaps where this is playing out. All the activity related to Mercury from I would say mid-March till approximately mid-April. What is Pisces? What house? What house does it land up in your chart, for example? So here you will see a new chapter wanting to begin, right? But it may not happen finally until May the 10th. Overall, it's another eventful month, and some unexpected opportunities can also show up for you this month. Yeah. That's all for now. All the best, folks. Cheers.